What's up, everybody? Welcome to On West Gray, the monthly podcast about all things local government in the city of Norman. I'm your host, Tiffany Verska, Chief Communications Officer for the city of Norman, and we appreciate you tuning in. This February marks a big anniversary for the city of Norman. It was a year ago that we saw the grand opening of the Young Family Athletic Center, or YFAC as it's known to many, our city's state-of-the-art sports complex. This is located in the University North Park District in northern Norman. This massive undertaking could not have been made possible without some amazing partnerships, and for this month's episode, we wanted to have some guests on to talk about the YFAC and all that's been accomplished the last year. So today with us, we have Mr. Jason Olsen, the City of Norman's Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Kellan McCoy, the Athletic Operations Supervisor at the YFAC, and Mr. Rayford Young, one of the namesakes of the Young Family Athletic Center and a key partner in its realization. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what each of you guys do. Jason, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the director of the department, and I was the one lucky enough to inherit this project. So I was there from design to getting construction documents out all the way through construction. A lot of the planning for what's going on in there, and not only that, you get to oversee all of our whole park department from 68 parks to 4 different beautiful cultural centers. I believe we're at 5 rec centers and a golf course and a swim complex. But this is one of our crown jewels of our department, and love it. It's so exciting to know that you invested 4 or 5 years of your life. And when I drive by it on the weekend and I see a parking lot that's absolutely full of people walking in, and even the stores and the shops and the hotels full around there because of this building and what has created from this building. It makes you very proud of what you did.
Right. Just quick reminder, do not park in the fire lane, right?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is
Red
packed
curbs
on
are
the
bad.
weekends. And Kellan, tell us a little bit what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the athletic supervisor at YFAC, and so I oversee all the operations of the facility, and do a lot of the planning and organization with the scheduling of the tournaments and the leagues, and then kind of am the liaison between the pool staff and Norman Regional Hospital, and then get just the tournament directors with all the setup and breakdown of the events at the facility.
Awesome. And we'll get into some of those details here in a bit. And Ray, tell us about you and what your role has been in this big, beautiful project.
I don't know. I don't know how to really answer that. When it comes to what I do, I think I would say not much. I lean on Jason and Kellan for everything. So no, this has been a real blessing. I've known Jason for years, and just to have the opportunity to raise a kid here in Norman, to go to Jackson Elementary, Whittier, Norman North, and then stay home and go to Oklahoma University. And now I don't think he's a big NBA star, but what people consider a big NBA star is pretty cool. And for us to have this opportunity to give back to the community and, consider ourselves staples of Norman, Oklahoma, I think it's pretty cool. So again, to say what I do, I don't know if I can explain it in just a few minutes, but I know as a foundation and as the chairman of the Trae Young Family Foundation, it's cool giving back to our community.
That is so awesome. And you said you've known Jason for a really long time. And I think I may have heard a story that, did you at one time, you were the coach of now a professional NBA player?
I was not a coach. I was not
right?
his coach, but
okay.
You're close. I think
How does that feel?
right when y'all moved to town, and for some reason it's like 2004, 2005 range.
Yeah.
And this is typical because Ray, he played college basketball at Texas Tech. I think literally his first stop in Norman was to come sign Trae up for junior jammer basketball. Yeah. So we met at the rec center. He mentioned he played college ball. I tried to poke him a little bit, find out who he played for. Couldn't get it out of him. Eventually found out through the internet. But we became fast friends after that because basketball has been all around me my whole life. Every single step that I've done. I'm not good at basketball or anything. I just really love the sport. But we became fast friends. The whole Young family came to our after school program for many years there at YFAC, or not YFAC, at Whittier.
Whittier Rec Center.
Whittier
We're
Rec
still
Center for
dreaming
sure.
up the YFAC.
Yeah, that one was made up. But out at Whittier, and played basketball with him almost every day, and got to watch all the kids play volleyball, basketball, and watching Trae grow up playing basketball too. And you can see that when you're playing one-on-one with a future NBA All-Star, and he was so young, he was sitting there. And Ray, you probably remember this. He was shooting shots constantly with two hands, and I know when you'd walk in and you would say, "Trae, one hand," But playing with him and then seeing him grow from that, you don't know that you have that kind of talent in front of you when he's a 7-year-old, that he's going to turn into a world-class athlete and one of the best-known basketball players in the whole world. But my favorite line I always give to him, because probably the last time I played one-on-one with him was when he's 9 years old, and I beat him, and I don't care. I don't care how many people are out there.
I feel like I'm holding on to that
I have
forever.
beat him, and he has not played me since then, and I'm undefeated one-on-one against Trae Young. Want the world to know.
That's funny.
I love that.
It's actually a true story. So, yeah.
And you went to All-Star game recently, right?
Yeah, so Trae just made his 4th or 5th All-Star. So this year was in San Francisco, and like I was telling Jason the other day, it just feels surreal, like just to witness and see all that. I mean, if when Trae comes home, if you didn't know he was an NBA player, you would just think he was just a regular young man. I mean, he's 6'1", 175 pounds. He's not one of these 6'10" giants or 6'8", like just freak of natures. So he, it's when Jason tells that story, it gives me chill bumps, because again, I just remember when we moved here. My wife, Candace, worked at Chili's, and I was still trying to get healthy to go play overseas. And I was bugging the then OU basketball coach, Kellan Sampson, about my my little son being a ball boy. I'm like, he's going to be an NBA player one day. You might want to, make him one of your ball boys.
Right.
And at this time, Blake Griffin was at Oklahoma. So it's so weird just seeing how all this came together and going to all these games at Oklahoma a few years after Blake Griffin and Buddy Hield and those guys, had just played.
Well, your history in Norman does run deep, and obviously your friendship with Jason runs deep too. So thanks for sharing a little bit on that.
We've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
So jumping into, I remember when we did the grand opening for the YFAC, it was an incredible, amazing day, amazing production. So can we do kind of like a recap of the opening day? I mean, it seemed like larger than life with the lights and the cameras and all of the smiling faces on stage. So what was it like to finally see that building come online?
Well, can I go back a second? I want to make sure, like, there's a story that I tell to a few people. I don't tell to everyone, but Kellan's in here and he's being quiet and he's being humble right now. But when I first moved here too, like I said, I was trying to get healthy to go back and play overseas. I would go play at the Norman YMCA. And there was this little short guy that was just fouling me and playing hard and trying to beat me in basketball. And it was this, I think he was a senior that year at Norman High. And it was Kellan McCoy. So,
look at that.
Yeah, so
You got some history too, right?
yeah, so my history, it doesn't just go along with Jason. I mean, I have a history of a lot of people here, but Kellan, I was so glad when he, took over the YFAC and started doing the things he's doing. Because not only did I used to beat him one-on-one, he used to turn around and do it to Trae. Because I would put Trae in the gym with him so he could learn a few things. So I would be remiss if I didn't tell the stories about my history with Kellan as well.
I love that. So both of you got Jason and Kellan. You've beat Trae Young at basketball? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. What?
Well, and to tell how this all got started, because it was a very unique story and how it all came together. And actually, Ray was really, really upset at me for a moment. When this thing got started, Norman Regional figured out that they wanted to be a partner in this, and they were meeting with me and our old director and our city manager at the time. And so they called this meeting, and it was actually with the Griffin family, and Kellan was actually involved in that, ironically, too. And this is before we even started design for it. We had a meeting at the hospital talking about partnering up and how these three ingredients can make between the city, between a NBA star and a hospital system had the perfect ingredients to make this unique building right here in the middle of Norman, Oklahoma. And then I don't know how it happened. 2 or 3 days later, my phone rings and it's Rayford. And at that point, we talked occasionally when we saw each other in town, but very few far between. And I looked at my phone and I looked at Judd, our old parks director. I go, he knows. So I had answered the phone and I put it on speaker and let him listen. And first couple of words out of his mouth was, what the heck, but not the word the heck. I heard you sit down with somebody in town or sit down with the Griffin family. He goes, Jason, we are Norman. You need to talk to us. This is something that we've talked about because we playing a long time in the gymnasiums that we've had in Norman. You can't go by before the YFAC anyway. You can't have a conversations like talking about how bad it was. We had tile floors. We had gyms without air conditionings. You had the hangar gym where Optimus plays. It literally had holes in the ceiling. So there was talk about what's the next step. How do we get over this? And there was a lot of conversation. How can we make basketball better? And me and Ray had a lot of those conversations. And it was just kind of that's how it re-kicked up from the second we talked to him. And the young family didn't want to make this an investment. They don't want any money back. They just wanted to come here and donate their money and give back to the community. Like I said, they're Norman. Like Ray said, they're Norman through and through, elementary schools and middle schools and high school at OU, all Norman. And their family all has houses here, every single one of them. So it's great.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate the investment in the community. I love hearing stories like this. I've gotten to be around to hear a couple of them, so it just gives me chills as well. But so we can't skip over that opening day. You got to tell me a little bit about it because I walked in and I've never been a part of a city facility grand opening in any way like that. It was so cool. So, what went into that? What was it like to see it come online?
It's a long time planned from our part. We kind of circled the day after All-Star game on purpose. We were hoping Trae was going to be able to make it, but I always give Ray a little bit of a hard time. I can't believe that Trae chose his family over coming to the YFAC and taking a vacation to Disney. But you're trying to figure out on these calendars because you have such a busy person in Trae, and so you find a date you hopefully will work. And the grind of being an athlete, just from association, and Ray can tell you about it. It is, it's a serious job. They're working every single day, even when they're in between games where they don't have practices. They have workouts. They have, making sure they're eating right, and they have to do publicity things and marketing things. It's just all part of their obligations and contracts they have. We were hoping this date would work. And it was the day after the All-Star game in Indianapolis. I got a call that morning too from Ray. It's like, hey, there's been a lot of people that's taking off today, and I'll try to get there on time. And so the panic started to kick in. Like, okay, we're going to start it too. Wow. And I don't know if Ray's going to be there or anybody from the Young family. And then we had this building. It's getting packed. People are taking seats, and got a text. Hey, I just landed right next to you. I'll drive over. He literally landed in the airfield 5 minutes before the
It's crazy. I remember
ribbon cutting open.
Wow. Yeah, what happened? That's amazing. I kind of forgot that, but that was the night of All-Star, Sunday night after the All-Star game in Indianapolis. But there was weather, so a lot of it's weird to see all this stuff. But the weather was bad, and everyone was trying to get out of Indianapolis. And I just remember looking at LeBron James and Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all these guys were stressed because the weather was so bad and these private planes won't take off unless the weather was good. So me, little old Ray Young, who's going to Norman, Oklahoma, I was at the back of the line. So I had to wait till the next morning. That was a stressful time, and Trae just couldn't make it because they had, plans to be in Disney.
Yeah, trying to be a dad and a professional athlete.
Because you only get a few
all
days
of these
off.
Things.
Yeah. So All-Star weekend is just, it's a small little break. You get 2 or 3 days off, and then it's back to playing, and you've got 30 more games to play. So So for him to come to Norman and then try to go to Disney and then try to get back to Atlanta, it was near impossible. But it's funny that Jason brings that story up, because now I remember, like, am I going to be able to make it?
Yeah.
You know. So,
but it was such a perfect. It's funny from kind of the outside looking in as just kind of an attendee there. I mean, it was a perfect event. I think it was very much about the community, which is always, you know, the underlying theme of what you and your family have done here. And so I thought it was beautiful. And I was just so excited to see so many people there come out and be so thrilled about this new project.
Yeah, well, thank you. The biggest thing for us, and I think a lot of people in the community, especially basketball parents, well, volleyball as well, as we were able to have a new facility with better courts. Like, I'm so lucky and blessed that my son never tore his knee or ankle on some of the courts that we had here, and that's nothing bad, you know, saying about the Optimist Club or even the Whittier Rec Center, but we just needed something new. And with this coming to Norman, we were all able to partner. I think it's been great that we've been able to partner with the old Optimists and bring the basketball league over to the YFAC and you know, have some good opportunities for these kids to play on. You know, these are NBA style floors, like wood floors, and I get nervous. I got nervous this year. We had daddy daughter dance there, and I was asking Jason, are you guys gonna cover up the floors? They're not gonna be food and drinks and stains everywhere. But yeah. But again, you know, that opening day was a blessing. It was a great thing. But I think I speak for my family when I say we were just happy to bring something new and, you know, refreshing to the community.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that facility is the envy of the state, the region. Kellan, can you tell us a little bit about, I mean, for folks that maybe have not had the opportunity to check it out yet, what is there at the YFAC?
Yeah, so the YFAC is, I mean, it's a very, very big building. It's 122,000 square feet, and so it's quite a big space. We've got 8 basketball courts that are all regulation size, with the ability to have a championship court in the gym for, you know, bigger venues or more seating. We've used it multiple times this year for like high school games or showcase games. And then we've got 12 volleyball courts that we've used a couple times this year already for big volleyball tournaments. And then we have 18 pickleball courts that we have the capability of putting down as well. So we have a wide variety of things we can do in the gym. And then Norman Regional has a space in there where they have their Ortho Central, and In Motion was in there as well. And then on the far end of the facility, we have 2 pools. So we have a competition pool and a recreation pool. The competition pool is where we have our meets, and then our rec pool is where we have swim lessons and aqua fitness and some different programming activities for the community there, as well as free swim, which is pretty popular too. And then out back there's a 50-yard field of turf with also 6 pickleball courts and 2 sand volleyball courts that are going in. That should be done here this spring pretty quick.
So exciting!
And so it's a lot of different activities that you know the kids and the people in Norman can come and have a day with their family and just enjoy it.
Right. So I know that it's been packed, as Jason said, every single weekend since you guys have opened pretty much. And within the last year, you guys also brought, was it an Adidas tournament that came? I remember I came for a bit and I was like, there's so much going on at once. So, I mean, tell me some of like the highlight events that you've been able to sponsor this past year. Yeah.
The latest one was the daddy-daughter dance. And I think that was a big one for us as a facility because it kind of shows that we can do other things than sports. I mean, it was like a concert in there. It was amazing.
Well, and that's one of the largest daddy-daughter dances.
Second largest that we know of.
In the nation, right?
Yeah, only Frisco, Texas. Yeah. We can find this bigger than ours.
So we're talking about hundreds of daddies and their daughters in there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, about 4,000.
4,000, just kidding, thousands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a really, really big one for us. And then we hosted Adidas Girls Live basketball event there, where they brought in over 400 college coaches to watch a bunch of girls play, which is a very, very high level of girls basketball. We've had Puma's shoe circuit in our facility. We've had Nike made hoops in our facility. We hosted a junior college national basketball tournament as well in the preseason, which was really, really big for us. And then we've hosted some Oklahoma Regional Volleyball Association tournaments that have been really, really big too. So we've had, a lot of different events and tournaments that have really allowed us just to showcase our facility and bring a bunch of people into Norman and eat at our restaurants and stay at our hotels.
Yeah, and to that point, I think recently, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but you've been doing some sort of like economic development reports for like council and the community on what you're seeing as far as folks coming into Norman because of the YFAC and events there. So what has that been like?
So we have Tracer AI, which is a software that's able, and every time you say it, it sounds like you're stalking people, but really not. But it's an available tool that anybody can get, but it follows cell phone data. So we're able to get a general idea how many people have been coming in and out of the YFAC. You also get a chance to see where they were before coming to the YFAC and where they went. You also get to see the dwell time. So in our first year of opening, we just pulled what we would consider our year anniversary of that from Tracer AI. We had about a hair on 400,000 people that walked through the door. And what is amazing when you start talking about the 400,000 people, their average dwell time, which is how long they spend in there, was almost 90 minutes per person, which is a long time for somebody to be in any building.
And it takes that long just to like walk around it.
Oh yeah, so. It might take that long to park. I don't know. And then you get to see where they're going before and after, and you see a lot of people hitting up the hotels, and you got Torchy's Tacos, which is El Jevo, all these places around there. They're just showing up, and when you start seeing not 0.2 or 0.3 of the people going there, you're like. We had pulled it 1 month, and we had 2.2% of the people, when we had 75,000 people through the door in 1 month, went to Torchy's Tacos. So, and you do the quick math, and you're like, Torchy's did pretty good after people went to the YFAC, and it's great data. And not only when you look at those, the Placer AI places this building as a health and workout facility, even though we don't have any workout equipment. But it's the most visited health facility in the state. So we're having more people walk through our door than any other workout gym or similar thing of this size. Because I'm sure that when you start looking at other gyms like Titan or something like that, they throw that into that same category.
Wow, that's awesome. I also wanted to share with folks that I know the mayor recently went out and honored you, Kellan, and some of your staff for the work that you did with the Special Olympics. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the Special Olympics was using our facility it was supposed to be for the basketball, and it was supposed to be on a Saturday morning. And so we were planned and organized to have them on Saturday for basketball. And we also were doing adaptive wheelchair basketball that same day as well. So it was going to be a busy weekend. And then we had some weather come in, and the director of the Special Olympics called and was like, hey, the gym that we were supposed to do the volleyball at canceled on us. Would you guys be able to host us, or would you be able to do anything? We'll take anything just to get some stuff done on Friday with volleyball. And we had some open time. This was Friday, like Thursday afternoon. Mm-hmm. So we had some availability on Friday, and I just said, yeah, what do you need? And so at that point, kind of told me what they needed, and we went to work to try to get it figured out to allow them a space to do their activities on Friday, and they were able to rally the troops and get quite a few teams there to play volleyball on Friday afternoon, and we got it set up, and it was good to be able to see them have that opportunity to still play and do their thing.
That is so awesome. We got the nicest letter, I think, into the city manager's office. It's just like, thank you for working with us. They had the best time. And so, that's visiting cool. Your staff for the certificates of appreciation and challenge coins is really awesome.
And another thing to add on to that is that it's a group effort too. And I really didn't know this until after it happened. I found out through Wade, our park manager, but they also coordinated to make sure the parking lot and sidewalks were perfectly clean. They went through there and dried them off, and even came back and blew all the salt off so that everybody would have a safe entry into the building. And it's one of those great things when you have a facility like this that has the city of Norman or a city behind it, you get all the city resources. We want to make sure that we take care of our guests that come to the town. Special cool event like Special Olympics is one of those things that you start putting together events. You start writing down things, and sometimes the Special Olympics or wheelchair basketball, you forget to include that into that programming. So when they approach you want to make sure that this is special. You got people from all over the state. These kids don't always get these same opportunities as everybody else. We want to make sure that they have a first class experience when they come and visit us down here.
First class experience. That's a great way to put it.
So this is news to me. That's a cool story to hear, and that makes me emotional. It gets me excited because I didn't know about that weekend. So that's pretty cool, and I think. The best part about it is, like having the namesake on the building, and not everyone's going to know who Trae Young is, and that's fine. But, when they walk into that building and they ask, like, who's the Young family, like, that warms my heart just to know we're able to do stuff like that and bring stuff back to the community. And, this is a City of Norman project. It's a City of Norman building, but to have that namesake is a big deal to us.
And I think we may have seen him sneak in there several times the last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
So does he come back often and kind of check out the facility? And...
Yeah, so his house is almost done being built. He's building his home for his post-NBA career, post-basketball career. So I believe, my grandkids will be going to school here in Norman one day, and, he'll be a regular over there. And Trae he loves basketball. I'm a little worried to see what he's going to do when he's done. I don't know if he's going to coach. He might be trying to take Kellan's job at Norman North. I don't know. But he's always home for a couple of months when the season's over, and supporting all the kids. We're going to have a huge basketball camp this summer, so it's pretty cool.
What has it been like I know you mentioned like the foundation earlier, but for you and your family to, hear these stories and see all that's unraveled the past year?
It's been great. Like, that's the goal, right? The goal is to give back. Like, that helps me sleep at night knowing that, okay, we're able to give back and change lives. Because I'll tell you, for a kid like Trae growing up, he wished there was another kid like him in the community that he could be around and touch and see how they do things. So he wants to be that person. I truly believe there's another Trae Young walking around Norman, Oklahoma right now that's looking at him and who's practicing and working out at the YFAC, and that's what it's about, right? It's just about giving other people the same opportunity. I tell a story about how we used to travel in these basketball events, travel all across the country, and I don't know how I was able to afford to go to Houston one weekend, Chicago the next weekend, and Dallas the weekend after that. But instead of kids having to do that, we have our own facility here now. So now they can, play in tournaments, work out, get better, and hopefully achieve their dreams based on what we built together, with our partnership with the City of Norman and Norman Regional.
I love that. I love that so much. And
I wanted to tell a cool story about, we were doing a park board tour out there, and Trae was playing in an adult league basketball game that night, and he forgot something in his locker, and the park board wanted to look at from the Norman Regional space, watch him play for a little bit. He ran upstairs to grab something in his locker and goes, "Jason, who are all these people?" They're the part board. And he goes, "Do they want to take a picture with me?" And I was like, "That's, I guess." I was like, "That's kind of cool that you asked," but it's pretty funny. He you look at him and growing up with him, I always thought, or him becoming, he had a certain level of shyness, but now. Now I feel like he's kind of embraced, and he understands who it is, and he just wants to. He makes people happy when he's over there. He's so cool to see him interacting with people, and not at the YFAC with the kids and people walking through, and he's not avoiding them. He's going out there. He's playing basketball, and then as he's walking to his car or walking else, he'll talk to every single person that goes by him.
I love that. Hometown hero. So tell me then, we talked about the new, like the sand volleyball and pickleball courts coming on. So that's something new that will hopefully be achieved by the end of the spring, you think? Is there any other programming, new stuff coming up in the next year that the public can expect?
Yeah. So right now we have we're starting our first 3-on-3 league that will start right after our winter league ends. So we'll do 3-on-3 basketball. We're going to start our outdoor pickleball league and sand volleyball leagues in the spring as well. And so those are some of the new programs that we'll be adding with those new spaces. And then we will start our summer camps as soon as the school gets out. And so we've got some national basketball individual camps that will be coming in. Jason Otter, Point Guard College, Breakthrough Basketball are 3 national organizations that do basketball camps all around the country. And then we'll continue to do some of our local camps that we'll have. Stacey Hansmeyer will do a basketball camp. Moses Madu, a former OU football player, does a footwork and agility camp. We've got Joanna Boyd comes in and does volleyball camps as well. So just trying to keep as many options open for kids to be able to come in and use the facility in the summer, give their parents some time to go get away a little bit during the day. But just continue to grow and just provide as many programs as we can for the community.
And are you guys offering rentals now for like kiddo birthday parties and that sort of thing?
Yes, so we do. We've done a lot of birthday parties in the past few months. So we do birthday parties where you can either rent the pool or rent the basketball court, or we've done pickleball, volleyball, and then we have a space where you can do the cake and ice cream and all that stuff as well.
Awesome. I would love that as a kid.
Yeah.
So we just have to plug that for the parents. So go rent out something at the YFAC,
And
guys.
too, if you ask, and I don't know how much it costs, Kellan, but they can make a custom birthday greeting to put up on that big screen that's in there, and it's pretty cool.
Those big screens with the panels that are taller than I am.
Largest continuous indoor screen in Oklahoma.
Love it.
Yes.
Love that. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot. I'm so excited for the future of the YFAC. The last year's been so awesome. Is there anything else you all would like to add for our listeners?
No, if anybody wants to come take a tour, we're always giving tours anytime. So just come in and ask for a tour and then come get a membership.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, gentlemen. Keep up the wonderful work, and we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Questions or commentary about On West Gray can be sent into publicaffairs@normanok.gov. Shouts to our producer and editor, Mr. Bryce Holland of the City of Norman Communications Office. Visit normanok.gov/news to enroll for e-notifications on traffic advisories, upcoming events, election notices, and more. Follow us on social, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, City of Norman OK. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and always remember to vote. I'm Tiffany Verska. Thank you for joining us on West Gray.